Now you're entering the section of old Barcelona that's referred to as La Ribera. So you turn from Correr del Corriers onto the major walkway of Correr Montcada, which changes names a few times and basically takes you through the center of this historic zone of La Ribera. This was an area of deluxe palaces and rich merchants back in the 14th and 15th centuries, and some of these buildings are still standing today and adapted to new uses, such as the Picasso Museum. Love him or not, Pablo Picasso was the major artist of the 20th century, and he lived in Barcelona during his formative years from ages 14 through 23 until his career and fame really got started. Then he left Spain and he moved to Paris and other parts of France where his genius continued to flourish. Founded after his death, this is the most popular museum in town, with one of the world's largest Picasso collections that are spread through what had been 5 separate mansions that are now seamlessly joined. Now, if you don't want to pay the admission to go inside, by all means at least have a look at the series of interconnected courtyards, and you're welcome to go into the gift shop naturally. Continue south along Correr Montcada with some diversions through those numerous side streets that honeycomb this most historic neighborhood, with little shops tucked away. Whatever looks good, whatever catches your eye, go for it, and come on back to Montcada to get your bearings. And then when you get hungry, it pays to look carefully for these little restaurants that are hidden away in the side alleys. One example is Nou Celler, which is tucked away between Correr de la Princesa and Barra de Ferro. Here we ducked into this spot and had just a terrific lunch. Not expensive, real good service in this kind of a small traditional restaurant. It's just 2 blocks over from the Picasso Museum. This restaurant is called Nou Celler, but perversely it's hard to find because they don't post any sign out front. It seems like they're trying hard not to draw attention to themselves. They're so popular, they don't want to get too crowded. So you have to know where it is, right along Barra de Ferro, just west of the Picasso Museum. They specialize in Catalan regional cuisine. After lunch, head for the large Gothic church Santa Maria del Mar, with its massive interior that's second only to the cathedral in size. The church itself is really impressive, with its huge nave, its soaring columns, its Gothic vaulted arches. Now, this was all built during the Gothic period, particularly in the 13th through 14th centuries, and so the architectural form is 100% Gothic. It's not influenced by the later period of the Renaissance or the Baroque. There's no fancy flourishes to its style, and nor was it built upon an earlier church in a Romanesque style with a more of a squat foundation and thicker walls and lower ceiling. No, it's pure Gothic through and through. So you have all of those classic elements of the Gothic period. Notice the beautiful small plaza in front of the church of Santa Maria del Mar. It's busy during the day as well as at night, with cafes and the shops around it and the people walking past. This is a major pedestrian thoroughfare connecting different parts of the old section of Barcelona. So there's always people coming here and there. And behind it is the tree-lined promenade of Passeig del Born, with several short shopping streets extending a few blocks south. This neighborhood was the center of town back in the Middle Ages, functioning as the financial marketplace and gathering spot. It was execution grounds and a general place to be. Well, today it's experiencing a rebirth, with a lot of trendy shops and cafes thriving in the blocks around the church. A major park with the public zoo, the Parc de la Ciutadella, is about a half a mile further east. Now, after Santa Maria del Mar and having a look at the Born district, You could either head back into the center of town, walk right up Correr del Argenteria, which extends 200 yards from the front of the church back into the historic district. Or on the other hand, you might want to head for the waterfront, which is only 3 blocks away, down to the Passeig del Born, which is a wide boulevard along the water's edge. It's got a lot of beautiful palm trees, and there you'll find the marina, and you could easily spend the rest of your afternoon along the waterfront visiting a couple of major museums and Europe's largest aquarium containing 8,000 fish. You'll notice there are lots of boats tied up here at the marina, and you can see most of them from the main boulevard, just walking right along the shoreline. It's really an open, sunny area that provides a dramatic contrast to that really constricted lanes of the old town with all of its narrow alleys and its dark shadows. Here by the water, there's palm trees and outdoor restaurants with views of the Port Vell Marina, and wide busy streets with lots of cars and trucks going by. And there's a mix of modern and older buildings that makes this a refreshing change of pace. Nautical buffs will surely enjoy the Naval History Museum. The other large waterfront museum is the Museum de Historia de Catalunya, which offers a stroll through history. You go from the Stone Age up through modern times in a huge restored brick warehouse. And beyond that, there's a broad white sandy beach. This big sandy sunny beach of Barcelona might come as a surprise to many visitors who are only focusing on the downtown, the urban areas. Now, the beach is a little bit separate from downtown. It's going to take you about 15-20 minutes to walk down here, but for local people and for many European visitors, they just love this broad sandy beach. And you can see it's quite huge, very bright, a real contrast with those narrow lanes of the old town. And from here, it's an easy stroll or taxi ride back to the center of town to complete your visit to Barcelona.